viewers of Civic Space TV, it is a beautiful Saturday afternoon. And at Civic Space TV, we are always here every Saturday at 3 p.m. Women Rise, Women at the Front Lines, where we get to talk to each other, inspire, encourage, motivate, yes, as women. And to our new viewers, kindly subscribe to our channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Yes, I'm called Madreen, and today I bring you yet a strong woman with me. She is indeed a very strong woman. She is a mother, she is a wife, she is an entrepreneur, and she will take us through all her journey. Yes, today I have Rusia Orikiriza. Rusia has battled with breast cancer, and for the 2 years, in the period of 2 years, she has fought 5 cancers. And at one time, her doctors told her that she had only 1 month to live. But guess what? We are here with her, and we thank God that today she's making another year. We really thank God for her life. Rusia, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Team Civic Space TV, we wish you the best on this day. We thank God for your life. And I know there is a reason why you're still here. Yes, God wants you really to do a lot of things. Rusia is doing a lot of work. She's doing a lot of outreaches. I've seen her on social media platforms. She's doing awareness. She's doing sensitization about cancer. I mean, we must really commend her for the job that she is doing. She's helping women out there. Yes, you're not alone in this. People have been there and they're really surviving. So we are really happy to have Rusia with us today. And we thank her for coming through. And yes, Rusia, how are you?
I'm great and blessed.
Yes, how have you been?
Today I'm making 38 years.
Wow, we thank God.
They gave me 1 month to
1
live.
month.
And by the grace of God, I'm now counting years.
Wow.
And I want to thank Him, the most supreme one,
Yes.
for making it possible that even when cancer ate my bones, God preserved my spirit.
Amen.
And I also thank Him that now I can sit on my own. I can speak, you hear the words come out. I can move my fingers, my arms with ease. No more artificial tubes on me. I have no one to lift me. I came, yes, darling brought me.
Wow.
But I also want to thank Him that now I can sit on my own.
Yes.
And for me, I am grateful for every moment.
Of course.
Yeah.
We are really grateful to God and we continue praying for you. Yes, there is a lot more for you to do in this world. So, Rusia, can you briefly tell our viewers about yourself? Who is Rusia? And tell us those special moments when you are growing up. Which special moments, childhood moments, do you remember?
Yeah, by introduction, my name is Rusia Orikiriza. I'm a wife to one man who is a man, a gentleman.
A gentleman.
I'm a wife to 4 children, and I have 3 girls and one son. I'm also an entrepreneur and a founder for Ori Bags Factories, based in Evlova Mitiana Road.
Okay.
And yes, we have also other shops and outlets in town. I am also a member of Lions Clubs International at Campus Central Club. And those other things.
Okay.
But for me, I have so many titles, but they are not necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are man-made things with fancy additionals. For me, I thank God that He has preserved me to this moment. Even when the world forgot about me.
Yes.
And we were advised to go home and wait for the hour. I am here. I'm still here. With even the implants I have in my spine, I'm strong. I'm living my new self. celebrating the new imperfections where the world is striving for perfectionism. For me, I celebrate few things that I can feed myself, I can bathe myself, I can think the brain has come back even after chemo and radiation and all these things I've been through. It's an honor, and I'm grateful. You also asked me about my childhood.
Yes.
I was born from Kabale, southwestern Uganda, and my childhood was the best. You know, when you're in the village, life is in the village.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's different from town
I'm the
life.
firstborn of my parents. We are quite many. My mom, God blessed her with 11 children.
Wow.
Though others passed on, but we are 8 alive, and I'm the firstborn.
Okay.
And my mom and my dad, they named me Orikiriza. Orikiriza, if I can try, I will talk about that.
Okay.
And I enjoyed life in the village. I have good memories. I used to swim. I used to be a good swimmer. Even my social media platforms, I normally tell them, we are neighbors to a river that supplies us to Rwanda. So I was a star. I was a
wow.
Though now I cannot dive into the waters like the way I used to do.
But back then you used to do it.
Yes, but also good. The fact that I've reached this day, I will also swim again.
I mean.
And then I grew up with so many of my friends going to fetch firewood, going to church. I was in church choir, Catholic church choir. I was a member of the Legionaries of Mary with my young age mates, even from the age of 7. I have been a jolly person. I celebrated moments. By then I didn't know that also life that is good is in the village. And until also recently, when I also drifted into this cancer navigation issue, that now I am more of like living like a man in the old stone age. And now that's why I now know that even life in the village was the best. And here we are, and I am now married, and the rest is now history.
Yes, and we thank God for that. Now Rusia is going to take us through her cancer journey, and she has a YouTube channel which you can follow, Rusia Orikiriza. Please subscribe to her channel. She shares a lot about her journey of cancer, encouraging women. I see every moment she gets, she's talking about her journey. So it's really beautiful for all women out there. You're not alone. And this is the Cancer Awareness Month, and there is a cancer run on 27th this month. Yes, if I'm right about that. Yeah, so please support the cause. So Rusia, when do you discover that you have cancer?
Yeah, it was in 2021. I was in in our bedroom with my husband, and then it was a good morning, and he, like, you are enjoying the moment, and then he touches my left breast, and then he felt something. He pressed it hard, but it was not painful.
Okay.
And then he kept on asking me, do you feel like in Ruchiga? I'm in Ruchiga. And this Orikushasha, like, but I had no pain. And then because it was not painful, we didn't give it too much attention. But now we enter December, we are very busy at the business. As I told you in the beginning, that we do manufacturing of eco-friendly paper products, boxes and bags. So it was very busy, the festive season. And then we closed the factory operations on 24th of December, but still I had no pain. So we went to the southwestern Uganda for the festive season. We came back, And then in Jan last year, 2022, it was 16th of Jan. And then it was a good Sunday. My husband had gone to church with the other three children. Then I stayed home with the little one and my attendants at home. I cooked food, a good meal for my family, and I waited to eat with them. So immediately when I finished cooking, I went into the living room. My little one had also gone to bed. So it was like that personal moment. You are home, you are on your phone, maybe. So later, I don't know how this hand touched the left breast. The other thing he had touched on had now increased in size, but still there was no pain. So when he came from church and then we ate, then we went back to the bedroom, like for a nap, because Sunday is always like, you have to catch up. So when we reached the bedroom, I told him, the other thing you had touched on has increased in size, but still it was not painful. Then he makes an appointment with our gynecologist the next morning, which was now then 17th of Jan. Then we saw the doctor. I had also not done a review for the other baby. God had blessed us with. And then, because then when we saw
we went with the baby.
We went with the baby, and also I had one lady who was going to work at one of our shops in town. So she stayed in the vehicle with the baby. I went to see this. So when the doctor analyzed, he says this, after he had seen issues relating with the baby, whether the uterus had gone back, like contracting back after he had given birth. And then we wanted to get out of that room. Then Dying says, you show him also the other thing, which you told me about yesterday. So we showed him, and then he said, this thing is suspicious. And then he says, we must do a scan. So on the sheet, he wrote 2 scans, one for the ovaries and another one for the breast. And then immediately when they did the scan for the ovaries, they were okay. The breast, then they kept on focusing on this one. And then I was there with my husband in the scan room, and then I saw the lady like drawing so many lines, reanalyzing. For me, I didn't know because I had no pain. The breast had not swollen, though the other mass, the lump was big, like the size of an orange. And by that time, I was very fat. I was 91. I was even still having baby fat.
Yeah, baby fat.
I had not started focusing on reducing weight. And then when they did the scan, I remember the lady saying, hey, where have you been, Rusia? The thing is big. And immediately that's when my heart told me, this is cancer. And from there, the body, I started envisioning what I had gone through, because I had ever nursed my maid like 5 years ago.
With the same situation?
No, for her, she had the cancer. So I knew what I had gone through with Rosemary. She was called Rosemary, and may her soul rest in eternal peace. She passed on.
Sorry.
So immediately I knew that is the thing I was now going also to go through. But by that time, the body I was looking nice, very. So there was no way that you could tell that
you have a problem.
And then immediately I grabbed my husband. I started asking God, why do you give me cancer at this time? Even when the doctor had not told me that we have confirmed. And then
you're already,
because I knew as a person, I was not the most sinful person. You start asking God, why me? And the more I kept on asking God, why, the more I drifted into depression. Immediately, before even we reached the doctor's room for further prescription. And then when we gone back to his office, he gives us 2 letters, one to open and another one not to open. Then immediately they told us to go and do a mammogram. Then we went to some center, we did a mammogram the same day. And then they confirmed. Then the next day, we saw other doctors, surgeons, and some specialists. They did fine needle aspiration, where they use a needle if your breasts are small. Then they draw samples from the mass. And then they confirmed it was ductal carcinoma. We even saw a pathologist for that diagnosis. Then again, the next day they called us to get another injection in the armpits, because when they did the fine needle aspiration, they got to know that I also had some lumps, some lymph nodes in the armpits. But by then I didn't know that they were there, because they were also not painful. And then when they also did the test, this cancer had spread. They confirmed. And I now started the navigation of cancer. It's like you're in an ocean. It's a lonely journey. I can't tell you, even me, I can't tell you how I have navigated through
up to now.
But that is it. And then we were advised to do a CT scan to see how the cancer, if it had affected some vital organs. And then they did this CT scan, like from here up to here. And then that's when they confirmed that also cancer had spread to the liver.
Oh my God.
On both lobes of the liver. And then we were left with a few options. What do they cut and what do they leave? They were also advised we only do palliative care, because just to manage the pain as I wait for the hour to enter the grave. And then,
so is that day they told you that you have only 1 month, or it's after you had gotten some treatment?
Yeah, that was because we saw so many specialists in this city. Most of doctors, most of the hospitals, they know about me. We were not seeing only one doctor or one specialist. Yes, we also go to our main home, the Cancer Institute, and when you go there, the scene, when you see others are having tumors on the face, where those who are undergoing chemo, by the time you even leave the Cancer Institute, to be sincere, Madreen, you come back when you have almost other 20 diseases. Because when you see, immediately, the brain signify it sends a signal to the entire body that maybe in the next few weeks you are also going to be like this. But remember, because we had also seen some people, like some doctors say, for a stage 4 cancer patient, let's not do so much, because they know you will go through so much because of the treatment. So, and just chances of recovery are so slim. And I think they did it in good faith. I don't want to say that according to how everything was in red. You do the tests for the liver test function, you find all the enzymes are all in red. They check inflammation levels, the CRP in the medical language, how they call it. You find it instead the normal range from 0 to 8. For me, I was in the 180s. And we didn't know that also cancer follows acute toxins in the body. So if your CRP, your inflammation is in red, in extreme, it gives a ground for cancer to thrive, because you have given it a breeding ground. But we didn't know how even to curb like those inflammation levels to the normal, so that we starve the cancer.
So Rusia, when do you start treatment?
The
and
treatment,
from where do you get the treatment from?
even when at that time when we saw, as I've told you, those tests we did, then now we started getting also herbal concoctions. Others even remove the hair before even you take the chemo shot, as you normally see on social media, on my TikTok, on my Facebook. I show those pictures, those video clips, because I kept on telling my husband, my best friend, to keep on taking memories in case I don't come back. He has what to give my children once they reach that understanding age that their mother fought a battle and she could not make it. So this is what, so when the treatment, even when I was still here in Uganda, I was taking herbal, anything, and you go to Mr. Google, you get almost,
you take everything you
yes,
think.
there are those things you even do self-medication. And one funny thing, one moment I overdosed on some herbal concoction, which had even removed the hair. So when I overdosed, the blood pressure shoot. So everywhere I had a scar, blood was, you see like this scar, you see the blood, it is like something that is bubbling. Immediately, I remember even I was admitted when I was in my, was it a night dress? You see, we are putting on, you see now I have, even when I was coming to the studio, I was like, hey, which dress should I put on? Because now the memory has come back. But in that moment when you are struggling with accepting
that
you see, acceptance is very key for any cancer survivor or for any cancer patient. The more we keep on denying that we are not cancer patients, the more you develop other opportunistic diseases. What would have helped you maybe to move on, you keep on denying. Even my husband would tell me, please don't eat this. I say, who tells you I'm a cancer patient? But already I was stage 4. I had already gotten the paperwork, the blood work, everything was showing. We had the both in image form, in scans, in blood work, but still I was refusing to accept that I'm a cancer patient. And then, so from that, then that's when my husband, when he all options failed,
you got an option outside Uganda.
My husband took a leap of faith, because here they even reached the point that she started to go home. And I remember even in one hospital, I will not say the name. When they told my husband that, you check your wife, the lower part is already gone. Take her home, you wait for the hour. But you see when, and this is what I want to tell you, Madreen, because cancer doesn't affect us, we the patients, it affects everyone
around you.
So when they told my husband to take me home, he couldn't also accept to take me home to watch as I breathe, as I go to my maker. You see, he tried everything. Even there are those moments. So when I had that moment that Lucia has already switched off down, take her home, I told myself, I will not die. Even when we did the MRI tests and they say there are some bones, MRI, it uses the magnetic waves, and then because we reached a point when I became paralyzed, but we didn't know that there were tumors in the spine. So from the breast to the lymph nodes, it spread to the liver, to the pelvic bones, to the spine, and to the tail bone, the sacrum bone. So, but still, because here we don't have a positron emission tomography machine, we didn't know that there were tumors. Then others, you have people who tell you it is witchcraft. Others tell you, some say you have TB of the bones. Others tell you it is a disc of the bones, like where bones knock each other.
So had you informed your family about it,
No.
your friends?
At first we disclosed the news to a few, but those we openly told, the response was not good. And then I decided, if I even tell my sisters whom I'm born with, I told them I'm the firstborn, majority are here in the city in Kampala. But my heart told me, if you tell them, immediately they're going to tell mommy and daddy. And mommy is a girl, daddy is a girl. So I knew they would either succumb to pressure hearing your daughter.
Yes,
Really,
yes.
this is what I normally even tell people. Cancer is not something that you would even wish your worst enemy to undergo. So I knew the news to my parents was not going to be good. And but for me, from experience, I also encourage, if you get the news, see how you can. We always have those supportive friends, even when you are gone. Even me, I have those people who stick to me in addition to my husband. As my husband left everything of his, he was working. Remember, when I extended the 1 month and I entered the bonus month, still, as the body was shutting down, my husband stayed home because he didn't. There are those moments I would, when you go, you might find when I've already passed on. Point blank, I tell him. So I think also in his, also because he had been with me from the beginning, he left everything and he stayed home. I can tell you, Madreen, from day one, even when we reached the point of, like when the body, when the sciatic nerve shut down, the one that supplies this part, one moment, it was in July, so my left cheek shrank and this eye closed as down this, and then from down it shut down up to here, but this other middle part stayed on.
So you couldn't feel the
no, and no one should try you when you pass on in phases. Like for me, this lower part, I was not having any pain because it is no longer part of you. And where I was getting pain was maybe like near here, but the lower part, it turned black. The lower feet became white. And for me to see what was happening down, they used to take pictures or video clips, then they bring it to me to see. And that time, I couldn't even do anything like this. You see, when you're doing this
in one place.
Yes, you see, when you're doing this, it's a big process. It comes from the spine.
So when that happened, were you in Uganda or you had
I was
traveled?
in Uganda.
So when do you go for treatment?
So in October, so when they chased us from the hospital to go home, so my husband and his friends, they got us a person who was working on me from home, and God performed the miracle on 29th of August. I stood with the support of crutches, even as I normally put it on my TikTok. The day I stood, I was putting on my husband's vest and his shirt. And for the whole year, from Jan up to even the time I went to India in October, I didn't put on more than 3 attires. You can always see. You see, we have wardrobes, we have shoes, there are things we fancy as, because this fresh body always demands a lot.
And at that moment,
This is what I want to tell you. So my husband decides, when I stood on 29th of August, then he decides to take me to India for further diagnosis. So when it came to issues of looking for tickets, for the visa,
financial support,
for the visa, he applied online because I was not fit to go to the Indian embassy for the interview. So he had to get online visa. He did it. Then for the ticket, when it came to because I also reached the point I refused.
You didn't want to go?
He even borrowed money to take me because we had already exhausted our finances. And then he came to tell me to take me for further diagnosis. I refused because already I had seen what I had gone through.
So you were starting to give up.
Yes, so my other heart told me I will come back in a box. Remember when now this time I was at home, you see things shutting down, and it is, you see your body, you see I reached a point, you see this body, if it was made up of this physical body you see, I would be now in the grave 1 year and 8 months. But because the body is not made up by this, a person is not made up of this physical body, even in all those things, I kept hope alive. There are those moments even my husband would come to sing with me because I had already left the bedroom. My husband allocated me a sick bed, and then that's what I used to. But we used to eat together, we pray together. But somewhere I am like, we have tried all avenues. We have failed. Just God leave me with the Spirit and so let me work for a testimony. You see, if I had told the brain that I have failed the battle, take me, I was going. Because I even saw it when we reached India for further management. When you tell the brain that I can't manage, immediately it sends a signal. They call them, my doctor was telling me, compounds or chemical. So he says immediately the brain will give a signal to the body that we have failed, then you shut it down.
So the brain has to keep.
Yes, you see now when we are happy, the body is generating feel-good hormones. So that means you're curbing down the cortisol levels. So those moments when I used to be like negative, I am like, see, I have failed. Yeah, I'm dying. How will my friends take that I'm dying of cancer? The more I got more new diseases. So the more I released stress toxins to the tumors, and the tumors thrive on stress hormones. They thrive on processed foods. They thrive on processed drinks. So it's not that cancer feeds on those are the things that give it fuel. We have even fighters who have lived for more than 30 years, but because they live intentional, they decide not to give cancer fuel to thrive, then it starts doing what we call tumor suicide. So when we now,
when you're in India,
so when we go, my husband, then the ticket, most airlines turned us down because I was not fit to fly. Then others asked for my husband to pay upfront for emergency landing in case you pass on from space. They must have an emergency landing. But God does miracles, and we got some air, and I want to say it on air. May God bless Air Arabia team.
Wow.
Even when my husband took me on his laps, on his thighs, from Uganda to Sharjah, on top of Dubai City. From Sharjah, we went to Cochin. We found when the ambulance had been sent to wait for us at the airport. I was taken on as an emergency. They did full diagnosis this time because they said we can't do any decision basing on the diagnosis reports in Uganda. Then they did everything, blood work, MRI, PET scan. The other thing I told you, they give you IV of radioactive medicine in the body, then they put in the machine, then it prints the whole of you. It shows wherever the cancers, wherever the tumors are, wherever the super abnormal cancer cells are. And then when they print you, then they did a test for mutation to see whether my cancer had a tracing in the genes. And then that's when they confirmed that my cancer was not in the genes. And then
how long do you spend in India?
Then they did, after that, that's when they did the spine surgery. Because remember, I had become short. This cheek had shrunk, so I had to be stabilized before they focused on the treatment for the breast. Then they did the spine surgery. They gave me an implant so that I can again attain my height. Because when the bones were eaten, they had to fix something to give me another chance to sit. So God cooperated with my spine surgeons, the tumor board. I was operated on 31st of October last year. Then after that, I got radiation on the other spine.
Okay.
And then after targeted radiation is like burning. It's a real burning. Then that body falls off when you hear radiation. So they burn to kill the cancer cells that will have stayed after the surgery procedure. And then when I stabilized, that's when they started the treatment for the breast. And then which was chemotherapy. And then I was started on chemo on 28th of November 2022. And after that, we came back in December. I came when I was like a skeleton. It was also me who received us from the airport. I was not there. I remember even when we reached the Entebbe airport, because it is next to Lake Victoria, there is a lot of wind.
Yeah.
You know, the wind almost like
making you away.
And then my husband, you reach a point, you're like, yes. And then we reached here. People gave me that welcome party at home. For once, I was reunited with our children. The little one had completely forgotten. And then the others, you see, as a mother, we are givers of humanity. I saw my children, and I want to thank God for those who took care of my children. It's emotional.
Yeah, it is.
But they say even when you want to cry, you cry.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I thank those who took care of our children. And also what I forgot to tell you, when we left even in December, it was in November, we were also robbed at home. They took all the valuable things in the house. But God preserved our children. But do you know, even that night, it was 23rd of November, I was still undergoing treatment. And my husband, I said, darling, we are being robbed at home, just in a dream. So I got up. Up at night because my husband, we went, two of us, he was my caretaker. I told him, darling, I see people stealing gas at home. He thought it was effects of medicine. Within an hour, we got a call from my sister Jovia
that
they have robbed us. But God preserved the children. And for me, I thank God that we had a few things in the house to be stolen and children stayed. As we came from our mother's wombs, we came when we were naked. We shall go back when. So for me, that is like the satisfaction I have. Even when you see, like now today is Saturday, people at work. For me, as long as I impact someone, not to give up.
True.
For me, that is because that is
already something.
Like the time I spent in the ICU after the spine surgery. There are those oath like commitments. I told God, please, if I could go to reason with him that please give me another chance. I go and I tell the world that you still do wonders and miracles the way we read in the Old Testament, and he has done it. And
we thank him for that.
And I'm now okay.
Yeah.
And I became a cow. I became a goat. Because when we came back, I told God, I must cooperate. And I work for this testimony. I can assure you, Madreen, even in the years I've been a manufacturer for over 20 years, there is health is priceless. And on this note, this is what I want to even tell the viewers. We have surgeons in the world, even we have oncologists who just cut off ladies' breasts without doing any tests. In the last month alone, I've lost almost 20 fighters because they cut their breasts without doing any test at all. These days, cancer is not about genes, but you find people cutting ladies' breasts. We have even men who have breast cancer because we eat on antibiotic-induced food. So breast cancer is not only for ladies. That's
so Rusia, you will tell us, maybe our viewers, what the things, measures one can
eating
take.
well,
Eating well.
whole foods. If it is like matoke, sweet potatoes, I eat them with their skin. When you peel, you have thrown the nutrients.
Yeah, I've seen some of your videos.
Yes,
you usually share what to eat.
Even when I'm in the kitchen, they are on my TikTok, Rusia Orikiriza. I tell you how I was, because I have an onco-nutritionist who has been also working with me, who they tell you that cancer is a phase in life. And for me, that's why I want to tell you what is here. When I tell you that you will be well, immediately you release positive genes, the positive hormones. That's what make up a person. We are what we think, what we feel, what we eat, and what we do. And that is the state of being. And for me, who has built this body from scratch, doctors wiring the brain through neuroplasticity, or reprogramming the mind, there is nothing that, if you cooperate, there are no incurable diseases. If God can turn water into a person, when you were in bed, I'm a mother, but I can't tell you the night I conceived. These are facts. But for me, even when you're a cancer patient, let us always tell ourselves, we can win. The will to live, that courage. And also, the more you keep telling yourself, even I started telling people that I'm okay when I was still in the red. And the more I kept on telling yourself that I'm okay, the subconscious mind also helped me to keep. I have new, because the old Rusia died, I have the new Rusia. So I have new realities. I dance a lot. There are those moments I would decide, I wake up, before even I eat anything, I am dancing. So there I have feel good hormones. And that means I'm now getting new genes. So even from cellular level, I have, so the more you have positive genes, you dominate the cancer cells. And then the immunity fights for you. Even when you are not, like, there are those moments I tell you, I'm not on some things, some days I don't take the medicine, but I live.
So to a woman who has given up, who feels like giving up at the moment, please talk to that woman.
When you, for us as cancer fighters, that's what we call ourselves. There is no moment like giving up. Giving up is not our portion. So there are also many things: deep breathing, meditation. I'm always in the wild. I walk on barefoot most of the time. But today I came on, you see, I have shoes. Today, because I wanted to tell people that, hey, I have now also got an honor to put on shoes. And then I also do a lot of deep breathing. And then I eat well. I watch what I eat. I don't take any dairy products. I don't take any processed foods that can give fuel to the tumors. And also, ladies, I don't do any cosmetics. Yes, that's a fact. So even no extensions, no hair extensions, no perfumes, because the more you keep also, the toxins come through, like when you're sleeping, you are breathing. Inhaling. So the air you breathe is coming from the hair extension you are, and then it has an effect on the hormones. Even the cosmetics, even my cancer doctor sits me, do not take on this. So I only use raw coconut oil and raw coconut soap for my life.
So thank you very much, Rusia. You've heard it from Rusia. She's indeed a very strong woman. Please follow her YouTube channel, follow her on TikTok. she's doing amazing work. She's encouraging women not to give up. I mean, she shares a lot on her platforms. Yeah. So Rusia is, as I said, she is an entrepreneur. She's also doing some work with Oribags. So for today, we are going to stop here, but I'm still with Rusia. You'll see us in the same clothes. We are going to talk about her work in the next session. So for today, for now, we shall end here with Rusia. Catch out for episode 2 with Rusia as she talks about Oribags. See you.